everyone, and welcome to the City of Quincy Board of License Commissioners meeting. It's April 28th at 4 p.m. I will read into the record the open meeting law. Pursuant to the open meeting law, any person may make an audio or video recording of this public meeting or may transmit the meeting through any medium. Attendees are therefore advised that such recordings or transmissions are being made whether perceived or unperceived by those present and are deemed acknowledged and permissible. Sue, can you call the roll?
Commissioner Castley.
Present.
Director Conlon.
Present.
Chief Kennedy.
Present.
Chief Smith.
Present.
Chair Crispo.
Present.
5 members.
So we do have a quorum of full board, and we will get started on agenda item number 1. Hearing regarding the request of Porch Fest Quincy for a special use permit, one-day liquor licenses for the 2026 Porch Fest on Saturday, June 27th, from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. in the Wollaston Hill, Squantum, and Marymount neighborhoods. Councilor Walter Hubley is here to talk about Porch Fest. Hi, welcome.
Hey, good evening. Yep, so we're back again, I think, our 10th year, and we're looking to do very much what we did last year. The event will take place in 3 different neighborhoods: Squantum, Wollaston Hill, Forbes Hill area, and Marymount. The start time, we generally start about 3 o'clock, but for some of the performances, they like to start a little earlier, particularly like the school bands and so forth, so we might edge it into 2 o'clock, which is why I put that there, but it will likely still be 3 o'clock until 8 o'clock. We want everything wrapped up by 8 o'clock, but the start time might be a little flexible. The event actually has about 120 start times when you add them all up. It's so many bands. We will have food and beverage vendors, 2 of them so far, and we'll might add a few more food vendors. If which we do that, we'll refer them to the health commissioner to get registered and get on the books. So in Marymount, we will have at Perkins Field, we'll have Black's Creek Barbecue, and they're looking for the one-day license. And on Wollaston Hill, at the intersection of Winthrop and Warren, we'll have the Assembly Restaurant likewise. We are still coordinating where the porta potty locations will be, but we generally have about 15 or 20. And we will do our yearly coordination with Quincy Police just to go over the map and go over the timeframes, go over what bands are where and so forth, so that we can appropriately monitor the festival. And yeah, that's it.
Great, thank you. Does anyone here have any questions, concerns regarding Porch Fest Quincy for special use one-day liquor licenses for the 2026 Porch Fest? Seeing none. Board members, any questions, concerns?
No.
Seeing none. This is always such a great event for these neighborhoods. Looking for a motion.
Motion to approve the request of Porch Fest Quincy for special use permits, one-day liquor licenses for the 2026 Porch Fest on Saturday, June 27th, from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. in the Wollaston Hill, Squantum, and Marymount neighborhoods.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You're all set. Thank you, Councilor.
Good night.
Agenda item number 2, hearing regarding the request of the Quincy Retired Teachers Association for a one-day liquor license for their spring social on May 6th from 2 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. at the Mason Hall of 40 Greenleaf Street. Kathy Dolphin. Hi, Kathy. Why don't you tell us about the event?
They do it annually. They change venues. They used to do it at the neighborhood club. Maureen McKenna heads it up, so she asked me if I would do it for her and found a venue. The location's good. It's pretty simple. Past apps, some food. They all bring stuff. We just organize it and take care of it for them.
And who is going to cater it?
They're actually bringing in the food, and we're going to take care of it for them. So there's no actual outside caterer. Like, each person is bringing something. We're going to set up buffet tables for them. We're going to pass some of their appetizers so that they can socialize.
Okay. And you're going to run the bar?
Yeah.
You're going to.
And I'll run the girls who are passing out their things,
Okay.
apps and stuff, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Does anyone here, Kathy? Sorry.
Again, never did this before, so.
Does anyone here have any questions, concerns regarding the Quincy Retired Teachers Association for a one-day liquor license for their spring social. Seeing none, board members, any questions, concerns?
Nope.
No. Looking for a motion.
Motion to approve the request of the Quincy Retired Teachers Association for a one-day liquor license for their spring social, May 6th from 2 PM to 8:30 PM at the Masons Hall, 40 Greenleaf Street.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You're all set. Thank you.
Now I can leave. Thanks.
Agenda item number 3, hearing regarding the request of Kyle Music School and Entertainment, Inc. for a one-day liquor license for their Love at First Sight student recital concert, May 9th, from 7:30 PM to 10 PM at 1456 Hancock Street, Vang Coffee Bar, Kyle Doan.
I don't see him here.
Okay, Kyle is not here. Is there anyone here in regards to Kyle's Music School and Entertainment, Inc.? Is there anyone who wishes to speak regarding Kyle's music? This is pretty straightforward, a one-day liquor license for a student recital concert on May 9th from 7:30 to 10. If the board would be so gracious, I think we can move ahead, even though there's not anybody here to represent. He has done other,
You could come if you prefer to. The event is the night. It's up to you.
if there's no questions, concerns, I think we can just go with the motion.
Sure. Motion to approve the request of Kyle's Music School and Entertainment, Inc. for a one-day liquor license for their Love at First Sight student recital concert on May 9th from 7:30 PM to 10 PM at 1456 Hancock Street.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Agenda item number 4, hearing regarding the request of Off the Hook Bar and Grill at 1269 C Street for special use permits and temporary extension of premise for the following events: May 30th Spring Fling, June 20th Flounder Roundup, August 12th Quincy Striper Classic. For October 10th, Oktoberfest. Like prior years, these events will include live music. The extension is a portion of Bayview Ave adjacent to the restaurant. The applicant will also apply for block party permits with the police. John Galligan, hi, why don't you tell us about your events?
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for having me. So yeah, we've been kind of running a lot of these, well, a few of these block style parties for the last 4 to 5 years now. We're trying to add one more on this year, which would be the Spring Fest. But, you know, as it was stated, they are all run on the Bayview Ave side of Off the Hook. They're all going to be from 11:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. The setups are all the same. We typically use like the orange and white sawhorses at the end of the street to really block traffic, but we also have a lot of stanchions that we put out and around. And then we rope those all off to really enclose the entire area. They're all gonna have a pop-up tent that we do our beer and wine under. There's gonna be bands. Usually there's 2 bands that play outside and 1 band that plays inside, and that's kind of then the draw at the end of the night to get people off the street so we can open back up. Those bands typically set up on our patio, so they are off the street. The Spring Fest, like I said, this is a new event, block party style event. That's going to be May 30th. Live music, beer and wine, kind of trying to incorporate a little bit more family friendly on this one for the beginning of the season, probably do some face painting. We might do a pony as well. And we're also going to have Meadow, who has a small boutique store. They're going to do a pop-up tent there as well. She frequents the restaurant, and I just trying to kind of expand a little bit with a couple small businesses in the area. Flounder Roundup, this is an annual event from when it was Louis before. Flounder fishing tournament, you know, that's really all done offsite, people out fishing. They come back in at a certain time to do weigh-in. Same deal, a couple bands outside. We do the weigh-in about 3 o'clock, and then just kind of really have music playing all throughout the afternoon. The Quincy Stripe, well, that was June 20th. Quincy Striper Classic, August 21st. This will be the second year for that. the exact same lineup as the Flounder Roundup. Fishing is obviously done on off-site. We do a weigh-in tournament. We do a weigh-in. This one, they can't really bring fish back with striper anymore, but they do, pictures are sent in, and we do like kind of more of a reveal for this, or to get a winner. Same deal, music, beer and wine outside. And then Oktoberfest, another, multi-year annual event, October 10th. Usually we start off with a German band, go into kind of your more traditional band. Block party style, we do a Stein hoisting competition at some point. Same deal though, just, beer and wine outside. All food for this is done in-house inside the kitchen. We really try not to even do food outside. If they can order it to go, but we don't really serve so much outside. If they want to grab something, bring it outside, that's fine with us. And that's just kind of it now.
Great, thank you. So anyone here have any questions, concerns about Off the Hook Bar and Grill at 1269 C Street for special use permits and temporary extension of premise? Seeing none. Board members, any questions, concerns? Looking for a motion.
Motion to approve the request of Off the Hook Bar and Grill, 1269 C Street, for a special use permits and temporary extensions of premises for the following events: May 30th, Spring Fling; June 20th, Flounder Roundup; August 21st, Quincy Striper Classic; October 10th, Oktoberfest.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You're all set, John.
Thank you, guys. Have a good evening.
You too. Agenda item number 5, hearing regarding the request of Kenny Semmek, Widowmaker Brewing, for a special use permit for a one-day liquor license for Wollaston Gardens, 18 Beale Street, beginning May 15th. Wollaston Gardens will be open, weather permitting, Thursday, 4 p.m. to 9 p.m., Friday, 4 p.m. to 10 p.m., Saturday, 12 p.m. to 10 p.m., and Sunday, 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. through the summer. Wollaston Gardens will be a community space featuring a variety of food trucks, family-friendly activities, a beer garden, games, and music. Hi, Kenny. How are you?
Hello.
And Austin?
Yes.
Thank you for coming. Why don't you tell us about your plans there? We do have a map of your area that you provided us. Thank you very much. All the board members do have it. We're going to give you a chance to tell us about what your plan is there, and then we'll ask people to come up that are here that want to speak. I do see Counselor Maggie McKee is here, and we'll give everybody an opportunity to speak, and then we'll ask you to come back up, okay?
Great. So I can speak to the alcohol licensing and things regarding that piece of the hearing, but as far as the vision for the space, maybe I'll ask Austin to kind of give a little more detail about the history of the site and what we're doing there.
Hi, I'm Austin Partain. So this came to light about 3 months ago. We partnered together for some other opportunities, and this seemed like the perfect location to bring something to the community where it's just a vacant lot. I've been working with Galvin Structures for quite some time, so we worked out a great agreement to allow us to use that space, pending approval by the city. Essentially what we're going to do, there's no entry fee or anything like that. Families will be able to come in during the open hours. We'll have live music on Saturday and Friday and Saturday only. For the time being, we might have a Thursday or Sunday down the road at some point, but that's not the plan for now. And we will have two permanent vendors, Widowmaker Brewery and CLO Mexican Restaurant out of Braintree, out of some shipping containers that will be there. And then we will be opening up to potentially 2 other food vendors, food trucks, whatever it may be, to come in and pull onto the site as well to serve. Again, live music. Friday and Saturdays, we'll have some games for the kids, Jenga, Connect 4, things like that. We really want to invite people of all ages. Again, we're trying to create a family-friendly space for that local community, and we're hoping to do it, for the next few years if this year is successful. So that's the initial plan for now.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
And Kenny, why don't you tell us about Widowmaker and what their plan is for the space?
Sure. So as Austin mentioned, we've partnered on other events before. Having built a community of Widowmaker family in Quincy. The city of Quincy has always been very important to Widowmaker. We wanted to work on developing this new space. Austin had mentioned a lot of the history of Wollaston theater space and a lot of passion around that being an area that would be very welcoming to what we were looking to do. So obviously our goal is to connect with the community and bring an opportunity for them to enjoy our beer in the company of friends and family. So it's really about experience as much as it is for us. Obviously in the summertime, we like to be outdoors and have a space that we can offer our product beyond just being up on the hill on Wood Road. So the theory is just that simple. We just find it's been great the years we've worked both at the gazebo and in Kilroy Square, and now to be able to develop another area of the city to help bring the community together in a place that we can offer our product.
Great, thank you. Appreciate it. At this time, I'd like to give people an opportunity to come up and speak and give your opinions and thoughts about the Wollaston Garden at 18 Beale Street. Counselor, would you like to come up? Thank you.
Hey, everybody. Yes, so I spoke with Austin just last week, and I have spoken with a few people just today or heard from them, so I wanted to share what I've heard. I spoke with the owner of the China restaurant earlier this morning, and she had some concerns about pedestrian safety with more people there and more cars there, and how she said that there had been accidents in the past and that people had been going through there quickly sometimes. She had some concerns about whether there would be porta potties or whether people might be trying to go into local businesses to use their bathrooms, trash, and so she thought that probably more people would come to her business as a result of this being here, but she thought that maybe the negatives would outweigh the positives. So that's one. And then there are a few others I'll just briefly read. So this is a comment from Melissa Sullivan, who lives at 10 Weston Avenue. When I heard about the Wollaston Gardens, I was so thrilled. For years, there's been a vacant hole on Beale Street and a missing part of Quincy culture. Having a new communal event space is so exciting. To think that weekends all summer could have local businesses, food trucks, music, and fun to engage our neighborhood and community, there aren't enough words to describe how positive this could be for Wollaston. And then this comment is from Suzanne Lambert at 3 Berlin Street. As someone who enjoyed patronizing food trucks when I worked in the financial district, I am very much in favor of inviting some to Wollaston. It is a great way to support small businesses and add more variety to our local dining options. And then Catherine Wright says, I am very much in support. My boyfriend and I were on Beale Street last night and were discussing how excited we were to have a place to hang out after work. I previously provided comments to Nina Liang on another zoning proposal a few years ago. I was disheartened that Wollaston has so much vacant and underutilized space in the neighborhood and insufficient third spaces. I mentioned the old theater lot as a potential lawn on D-style transitional property. I am so glad someone is moving forward to utilize the lot. And then Marielle McDonough, simply, this sounds like a great addition to the neighborhood over the summer. So I just wrote to people and I said, people in the area, and I said, give me thoughts, positive, negative, both. So I think there's a lot of support and excitement for the project, but obviously,
Concerns.
yeah, concerns and devil's in the details. I'm personally mentioned to Austin today that I hope that there will be, we could maybe trial a food waste, black earth compost thing there. So we'll see if that works out. But, in terms of rodent concerns, those bins are very safe and locking. So I just like the idea of testing that out and maybe having recycling for, I don't know if you'd be selling things in cans, but some kind of greener area. So those are some of my thoughts, but I think there might be some folks here as well who came.
Great, thank you.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. Anyone else care to come up and speak? Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Stuart Rowe. I am a resident of Wollaston at 53 Woodbine Street here in Quincy. I could not be more excited that this is coming to the neighborhood. Right now, if you want to eat outside in Quincy, you got to leave Quincy. Or certainly Wollaston, unless there's some areas hidden around the city that I'm not aware of. It's kind of non-existent. And so I've been to Widowmaker. You do have a great product. And certainly a Mexican restaurant would give a new food item to the community. I don't know if anyone is going to discuss about concerns about parking, but that has stopped a lot of projects that are really good. And it's choosing, I just want to say, I don't want that to be the reason that a vacant lot sits vacant and grows weeds for another however many years. I think this is an awesome thing. And I'm happy to, if there are concerns about parking and things like that, I'm happy to give some ideas about better parking management in that whole district, which is because I've been to a bunch of these meetings for different projects, and I think there's some options that are not discussed. So I'll save the details for now, unless if there are, it sounds like a lot of positive feedback, so count me in that category. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else care to speak?
My name
Welcome.
is Mary Lally, and I live at 10 Weston Ave, so it's just down the street from this proposed project, which I am very excited for. When I moved to Quincy in 2007, the Wollaston Theater was still there with hopes of turning it into a community center, and that never happened. So I like this idea. I like that it's outside. People can mingle. Not everyone can afford to eat out every week. It's a luxury. I grew up with parents who grew up in the Depression, so going out to dinner was for special events only. So I want to be able to eat out more and meet up with friends. Everyone can buy what they want. No one is confined to like one restaurant. There'll be other places to eat. And I like the idea of having kids there because there aren't really any third spaces in that section of Wollaston. I know Safford Park is up the hill, but that's not convenient for me. And there are a lot of seniors in the area who would be able to walk to this garden. And I'm sure they will enjoy the time out there. So
Thank
I
you.
hope you approve it.
Thank you. One more. Sorry. Hello, how are you?
Good afternoon, everybody. My name's Judy Chen. I actually own the China restaurant, but I also own the whole block that has 8 restaurants that are currently on Hancock Street and Beale Street. And my tenants all have a lot of similar concerns as I do. We've also used Widowmaker. We've always been very supportive of them. Great product, all of it. My concern is more of the safety in the area. My own restaurant, 13 years, took us 2.5 years to get passed with our liquor license because of parking and the issue. And I understand this is only for 5 months, but it's 5 months during the most busy time of the year when it comes to Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sundays. I have a little concern that were the neighbors contacted, there was no neighborhood meeting, no one knew about any of this until yesterday or maybe the day before. I heard some rumors about it. The neighbors are always on us about music, so what I did for the last 13 years is I closed down the side of my windows on the side of Chapman Street because it's residential, so that it's not loud over there, starting even at 8 or 9 o'clock at night, just to not disturb my neighbors out of respect. The parking has been an issue down there, even though I have my own parking lot with 32 spaces. I'm not sure how we're going to be able to police people going into my place or the other 7 restaurants that are on that block versus the Wollaston Garden that's going to be there with no designated parking spaces, and Chapman Street already being a challenge. It's the CVS lot, from what I believe, has been closed off to any public parking. That was there even earlier this year. There's some concerns about trash, especially after what happened this past summer with the issues with the trash having been on strike and everything, how much trash can build up in just a matter of days and weeks in that area. Where are they going to put the dumpsters? Also concerned about the bathroom usage, because we do have restaurants that all have signs that say no public restrooms, but I mean, who are we to stop to coming in, to stop coming in to use our bathrooms if they are previously our customers or future customers? We try not to be very negative about that part of it, but I mean, it still persists. It's a challenge for the restaurants that are going to be open their regular hours, who have a permanent liquor license and restaurant license there. The traffic on Chapman Street, since I've been there for 13 years, I personally have witnessed many accidents with vehicles versus pedestrian. That's what brings my major concern. I love food trucks. I tried to start my own food truck last year, but there are some concerns about that small little congested area with cars and pedestrians, people walking around with drinks, with children, with family, and entertainment going on and not paying attention on that road. Lots of traffic going on with our neighbors, Dunkin' Donuts, people going in and out short term there. Our parking lot is almost always full during our busy times. I'm not sure how we're going to police that. So those are some major questions that I have regarding this issue.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Thanks.
Judy?
Yes.
You want to take a look at that? They have worked on some parking and the porta potties as well. But of course, we do hear your concerns. We do think well, I shouldn't speak for everybody. I do think that there is a need for this in that neighborhood. I think that people want to come together, they want to congregate. I know what Walter Hubley is doing on the Hill brings, a fresh, fun family environment that people can enjoy outside. And I know that that's important to the people of Wollaston, and they don't have that there at this time. So I am going to be in favor of this. I have talked to Austin offline, and we did talk about the trash and, maybe having a pickup on Monday.
I just want to speak on your concerns.
Yes, of course.
If that's okay.
Yes, of course. Judy, are you all set?
I'm concerned about where the parking really is, because that is a closed-off area. Is that open? Is that going to be open for parking, people walking through?
Yeah.
Because right now, it's a fenced-off area that people can't walk from this area to the food trucks.
Correct. So if I could just explain. So this whole lot is fenced off currently. We're going to have an entrance here. There's a gate here for the food trucks to enter. That gate will be shut during open hours, and only for the trucks to come and go will it be open. This parking area, we've laid gravel down. The fence is currently closed. We are working on, with the owner, Galvin Structures, to open up an entrance there where cars will be able to pull in and park right there. We'll have the trash bin right here. It's not located on the map. I have 2 estimates for that right now with Northeast Recycling and Troop. So we just got to secure that. We'll have 4 porta potties, 3 standard and 1 ADA accessible porta potty. But the whole site is going to be fenced in. There's only going to be 2 means of access, really, is through the parking and through this main entrance here. So our goal is to have a confined area so people aren't roaming off the lot with open drinks. We do plan on to have signage that says that no containers or no drinks can be taken out of the site as well. So and none can be brought in at the same time. As far as I know you mentioned the amount of traffic, live music. We're only going to be open for 28 hours out of the week. only going to have live music for potentially 6 hours out of the week. We're looking at 2 sets, Friday, Saturday, 3 hours potentially at a time. Again, I did mention that we might possibly have a Thursday and a Sunday. That'd be a one-off event, maybe a couple of times throughout the season. But our goal is, and again, we're hoping to have 15 to 18 parking spaces here. Obviously, that's not, going to be sufficient if we have, 300 people in there. But our goal with this particular location is to hopefully there's a ton of foot traffic already. There's 7,800 residences within a 15-minute walk of here. So our goal is to attract those who are, residents who are walking over. I know that's our goal, but, and then as far as parking here, I'm happy to do whatever it takes to make sure visitors are fully aware that they cannot park here unless they're visiting your businesses here in your building. So if that's signage, around our parking or in the building or on this side, more than happy to put something up so that, I know you have one sign right now, but.
Our parking signs, we have 3 signs, actually. We have one right here, and on the dumpster.
Okay.
But I mean, people who break those rules all the time because Dunkin' Donuts is right next to us.
May I ask, could you guys talk offline?
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
maybe if there's anybody else here who wants to speak.
Yeah.
I'd appreciate that. Thank you. Anyone else here wishing to speak about Wollaston Gardens at 18 Beale Street? No? Yes.
Stuart Rowe, 53 Woodbine Street, Wollaston. So one thing that Wollaston lacks as far as parking that I think would help the situation is if somewhere in that district right now there is absolutely 0 bicycle parking. And so if you take one parking space that's about 176 square feet, you can put 10 to 15 bikes in there. There's a lot of people who take bikes to the train station. You'll see seniors, a lot of seniors have bikes. I think that's something that regardless of this project, I think this area could benefit from to take more trips away from cars. I definitely hear the concerns, but I just wanted to mention that as something that is truly lacking. Wollaston has a ton of parking. It's just not shared well. So just wanted to name that
Is
as well.
there bike parking at the T?
There is, but that's there is. But you have to have it's not free. You have to have a Charlie card to open it. Yeah,
Okay.
It's not open to the public.
Okay,
It's locked. Yep.
great, thank you.
Yep.
Anyone else care to speak? Board members, any questions, concerns?
Yes, you're going to work with the building department for permits and traffic and parking.
Yes, we've already reached out to traffic and parking, we reached out to traffic and parking and got a permit for the ramp to go into the parking space. Sean Farrell pulled that permit. I reached out to you as well to see if there was anything that we needed. The stage that we're building is not going to have any overhead, but certainly the contractor will pull a permit if, even though there's no overhead, if there's still a permit required.
It's still a permit.
Okay, all right. There's no other construction going on there.
Electrical.
The electrical, I spoke to my electrician today. I have the permit number. He applied for it, didn't pay for it. He said he was going to pay for it today. We're going to bring 200 amp temporary service there, but he is in the process of doing that as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Marley?
The only question I have is, one, we got to get the porta potties licensed, very simple to do.
Okay.
The other thing is where is the dumpster going to be? I know you're still working on some of the kinks, so, whenever you're ready, just let me know.
Yeah.
And
It's
then
going to be at the end of the parking there, if I can just go where it's going to be. It's going to be right here. That way the dump truck can just move in, pick it up and pull out.
Okay, perfect.
That's the plan at least.
And then lastly, what pest control company that you're going to be using for this site to help reduce any rodent sightings or any rodent activity in the area.
Okay, I'd probably go with Ladybug and I can definitely follow up with you guys on that.
Perfect. And then just the last thing is whenever you have these events, if you could just let us know, either email me or my food inspectors, which I think you've done in the past, any food trucks or any food vendors, we need to be notified so that way we can get them licensed. For example, I know you mentioned the Mexican restaurant in Cielo's and Braintree. We would need to get them licensed. So
Yeah,
anyone
yeah.
that's not licensed, we have to go through.
I sent them the application this morning to get that process started. They've been a great resource for me, just making sure we take proper steps with that.
Awesome. That's all for me.
Okay.
Good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would just say, I was a little skeptical when I first heard the plan, to be honest with you. I did take a ride down there today, and I tell you, the site already looks better than it has in years, so, I think, I've seen these, types of, spaces be really successful in Boston, in really congested areas. I know there's some in Situate, Cohasset, and Canton, and, shockingly, they are pretty family-friendly events, which you really wouldn't think, beer trucks is going to be family-friendly, but generally the crowd it tends to bring are more family-friendly. It's kind of cool to see and to see that, bringing some life back to that area too is really great. And ma'am, I do understand your concerns as well, and believe me, when these things come through the board, we always have an opportunity to bring the people back in front of the board if it does get out of control. Because I did have some concerns with Chapman Street, with some of the residences there. So I do hear your concerns, and believe me, if there are issues, we're going to be the ones dealing with them. So it's really not in my best interest to vote in favor of this, because I'll be dealing with any problems, and my offices will be. But I think it's a solid plan, and I would vote to give them a chance to do it. But I do understand your concerns, and if there are problems going forward, we will address them. So with Chairman Crispo, I would be in favor of this, and I don't know if anybody else had anything.
I believe you're doing an on-site inspection and walkthrough with our Fire Prevention Bureau. That's scheduled for this week, and your propane permits are in place.
Yes, I applied for those and paid, but I don't know if they were actually issued. I'm not sure.
Okay, and then obviously if you do go forward with the food trucks, you're familiar with the process with that as well, for permitting?
These guys are more familiar, so again, they've been a great resource.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll work with, we had done another beer garden with Cielo. That's kind of why we wanted to obviously work with local businesses in the city, but in the time frame we had, we know someone who understood getting the same setup. Basically, we're picking up what we were doing on Mahar Highway and kind of transplanting that here. So we'll make sure that he has all of his permitting set. Every other food truck we've talked to is in the South Shore Food Truck Association, and we'll make sure anyone is already licensed with Quincy and is working through the association has the ability to be in Quincy. So that's part of the process we have for onboarding the food trucks that come.
Okay. Okay, and just to echo the chief's concerns, we'll be monitoring it too, and like you said, we have the opportunity to come back if we have to, so I have no more questions.
Thank you. I will just say that certainly the most important thing is to respect the neighbors and work with the safety officers. And we have agents from the licensing board, Pat Fahey, Paul Coughlin, AJ Kathis, that will be coming out periodically. Certainly do a walkthrough with you beforehand, but then coming out, they work all different hours, schedules, so they'll be around, as well as the community police in that area that always show up. And, Judy, if you have any concerns, please bring them to our attention and we'll reach out to Austin. I think it could be something really positive for your community out there. And if there's nothing further, I think we can look for a motion.
Just before, Detective AJ Kathis is in the back of the room. If you just talk to him on the way out so you can meet him.
Thank you.
But with that, I'd like to make a motion to approve the request of Kenny Semkin, Widowmaker Brewing, for special use permits and one-day liquor licenses for Wollaston Gardens, 18 Beale Street, beginning May 15th. Wollaston Gardens will be open, weather permitting, Thursdays 4 to 9, Fridays 4 to 10, Saturdays noon to 10, and Sundays noon to 7 through the summer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You're all set. Good luck.
Good luck.
And that does conclude our regular agenda. Looking for a motion to accept the minutes.
Excuse me, yes, Chair, I believe this gentleman has.
Oh.
shown, I believe, yes.
Oh. Okay. Agenda item number 3. Hearing regarding the request of Kyle Music School and Entertainment, Inc. for a one-day liquor license for Love at First Sight student recital concert on May 9th from 7:30 PM to 10 PM at 1456 Hancock Street, Van Coffee Bar. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Why don't you tell us about your recital?
Oh, yes. So it's like a vocal recital for my vocal students. And I'm not sure how I identify it as like a private event or is it a public event. But so the audience are just my student parents, student friends, and they just come and we just plan to host like about like 60 guests. The venue is like half of this room. And just a piano and vocal singers, which is my students. And we plan to serve like about like 6 bottles of red wine because like we serve the steak in that. So that's why I think it would be great if I can request for the liquor license for just one day event.
Sure,
Yes.
thank you.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any questions, concerns regarding Kyle's Music School and Entertainment for their Love at First Sight student recital? Seeing none, board members, any questions, concerns? Please.
Did you mention any food at all or no food?
Yeah, there's food
Okay.
catering by the restaurant itself.
Okay.
Van Coffee Bar.
Perfect.
Okay. Without any questions, looking for a motion.
Motion to approve the request of Kyle Music School and Entertainment, Inc. for a one-day liquor license for their Love at First Sight student recital concert on May 9th from 7:30 to 10 PM at 1456 Hancock Street.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You're all set. Thank you.
So is there any payment do I need to make?
No,
I'll connect with you tomorrow and can email you the license.
All right, thank you so
and
much.
I would consider that a private event. It sounds like it's people that are coming in that are
Network, yeah,
invited.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not done. Okay. Looking for a motion to accept the minutes from the April 14th hearing and waive the reading.
Motion to accept minutes from April 14th hearing and waive the reading.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Our next hearing will be on Tuesday, May 5th. Looking for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you.